This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm delighted to be joined by world title challenger Lawrence OKOLIE today. Lawrence, first and foremost, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
That's good to hear. Obviously, you've had some big news finally announced. It's been a long time coming. You will be challenging for the WBO Cruiserweight World title. Last time I spoke to you about a month ago, you're waiting for it to just sort of be officially announced. Is it nice to just sort of have that done and dusted, everything ready, good to go, December?
Yeah, 100%. It's such a weird one because like I felt like I was training hard already, but then as soon as the fight got announced, like publicly, it's all of a sudden my training just skyrocketed, like my times and stuff on trainings, exercises. So I might have been holding a bit in reserve until it was announced. But yeah, it's been good. And it kind of shows me the reality of it. You know, there's no more if buts and maybes. It's like, yo, it's happening. You know, I already got the messages of support and, you know, the prayers and stuff like that. So, you know, it's real. So I'm going to go get it done.
Found it interesting you mentioned there, even though you've been training for this fight for a long time, when it got officially announced, you found that extra little gear in camp. Do you accept you have to be at your very best to win this fight against Glowacki?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that I have to be at my very best to win any fight because ultimately you're in there against, you know, trained fighters who are, you know, been training for decades to throw punches. So I have to be on my A game at all times. With this one, of course, you know, he's got a lot of experience. He's done 12 rounds multiple times. So I expect him to be good for the 12 rounds as well. So I have to be able to do 15. Obviously, only 12, but yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
Now, you always do have that in-house sparring now with Chris Smith, your stablemate, but what are the kind of guys you've been sparring? I imagine you've had a bit of Southpaw work coming in as well?
Yeah, I've had some Southpaw work coming in. There's more coming in as well. Do you know what I mean? We're just getting stuff cleared, you know, with the global pandemic and stuff, but it's been good. Just getting that. Southpaws, obviously, I was on the GB setup with 2 Southpaws and, you know, I've had a lot of Southpaw experience you know, throughout my boxing career. So the Southpaw stance isn't a massive issue for me personally, but it's been good obviously just to, you know, get the angles and stuff like that with sparring partners, and, you know, even just simple tech sparring, you know, I think it's overlooked. That just, you know, break it down from go in there and have a war, let's see who can land more shots. Sometimes, you know what, just Lawrence, you're on the jab and they've got open, see the punches, relax, you know what I mean? The hook comes from there with this, that. So it's good. I look forward to demonstrating December 12th.
We haven't seen you under the bright lights for over a year now. That doesn't necessarily mean you haven't been working away down there with Shane and the other guys. How do you sum up your development behind the scenes this year away from the cameras? Do you feel you've improved?
No, most certainly I feel like I've improved. I feel like there's a lot more intent in what I'm doing, you know, like I'm doing stuff with more intent, like punching harder with reason. Do you get where I'm coming from? Like I feel like a lot of times I'm just in there just, okay, I'm gonna keep punching and working. Okay, he's close, I'm gonna push him out. And everything's reactive, like, okay, cool, bang, okay, he's hurt. Let me take him out now, as opposed to, you know what? Shot. Right, cool. I'm gonna work this. This is my game plan. Do you know what I'm saying? My game plans are always very much like just simple tactics. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's like instead of it being preset, it's like if he comes forward, I'm gonna go back, or this, that. It's been reactive. Where this one, I'm gonna go and instigate what's gonna happen in the fight on him.
With those improvements you feel you've made this year and those little things that have been clicking in your head by the sound of things, do you think it's almost a blessing in disguise that this fight has been pushed back a little bit and you've had that bit more time to develop?
Yeah, I'll only be able to answer that question after the fight. Do you know what I mean? But you know, it's pros and cons. You have the, you know, pros of longer time to develop. I'm obviously younger than the guy that I'm boxing, so hopefully the time will affect him more than it affects me. But then you've got the cons of, you know, momentum slowing down and, you know, ring rust, if that's a real thing. I hope not to find out. And that's it really. So like I feel like we'll find out, you know, on the day.
Lawrence, I noticed among your fight announcement posts that you put out there, among thanking your promoters and your management team, you also thank yourself for being a risk taker. What is it in you that continually makes you want to take these steps up in class? You've done it your whole way through your professional career. What is it that you don't want to take that easy touch at all?
I don't know, I enjoy the feeling of a win more afterwards when it's like I knew I was gonna win the fight, but it wasn't a guarantee. Do you know what I mean? When I'm in the changing room afterwards, you know what? You might actually be good at this, like, and then, but if it's someone that I'm meant to be like a journeyman or something, it's like afterwards you haven't proven nothing to yourself. So that's why when I go into this fight, I feel like I've proven enough to myself that I'm confident in taking this fight. Do you know what I mean? So when I've won this one, I would have proven even more to myself. So I can take the unification fights and whatever else comes up afterwards.
That was going to be what I touched on next. Given the trajectory you've been on and the fact you've never sort of rested on winning a certain belt or achieving a certain thing, is it safe to assume that if you do win this world title, you'll be one of them unifications straight away in 2020?
Oh yeah, I'm really talking with these are obviously not in any sense overlooking the fight, but I've already made it very clear when I win this fight what I want. I want unifications. Unless someone can prove me wrong, I have to just keep going for the next level until I hit that level. When I went for the Commonwealth title, was that going to be my level? British, was that European? Now we're going for world. Let's find out. You know what I mean? Is this my ceiling? I don't personally believe so. So I just have to keep proving it.
With the position you're in now, on the verge of becoming a world champion, from the short space of time you've even been in boxing at all, what do you think the 17-year-old kid that first went down at the gym would think you are right now?
I think he'll be blown away. Obviously, like as you lose weight and stuff, sometimes you almost forget, or you decorate your house, you forget what it used to look like. But sometimes when I do flash back into that kind of mindset, it is quite bizarre. Like, and I feel like he'd be very proud. And he's one of the. I'm talking about him like he's not me, but that's one of the main reasons that I push so hard. You know what I mean? Because I remember how I used to feel about myself and about life during those times, and how I don't want to say hopeless, because I wasn't like walking and the sky was black, but I felt like I was meant to do something or be something, but I just couldn't. I just didn't know where it was, but I just always had like a feeling like, and I felt that made me quite sad, if that makes sense. Like, I'm meant to do something, but it's not there. And obviously the missing ingredient was hard work, application. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes when you're like, ignorance is bliss, you just, he's meant to be a footballer. He's always black. Like, do you know what I mean? As opposed to just going and working. So I think he'd be very proud. And I just hope that, the work I put in now will have 38-year-old version of me, saying, well done.
Aside from belt and money and everything else, when you think about what you were like at that age, 17 years old, and maybe that lacking a bit of direction, how much would it also mean to you in your career to be able to inspire others who may be in that very situation right now?
It's paramount. It's probably one of the most important things for me. As I said, when the fight gets announced, it's more so the messages of like, oh, I've been bullied, or I'm overweight, or I'm this, or I'm that, and your inspiration, or stuff like that. Those are things that push me on, because I'm just living my life on a day-to-day, training, going to the gym, you know what I mean, fighting, whatever. Those are for my own selfish reasons. But once I see what I'm doing is sort of motivating someone, it's like, oh, you know what, like, this is bigger than me. So when I want to go and eat that chocolate bar and think, it's my life, if I knew, that's me, that, and then, having that message in the back of my head, like, well done, champions. Like, you know what, I want him to have even more to be inspired by. Do you know what I mean? Getting here is fantastic, but winning, it's a whole nother thing. Unifying, it lengthens the amount that my inspiration can go, the more that I'm able to accomplish.
Lawrence, just a couple things away from yourself before I let you get on with the rest of your media duty here. We did have a big Halloween fight night over here. Alexander Usyk with a points victory over Derek Chisora there. I'm sure you caught the fight, Lawrence. What did you make of what we saw from Alexander Usyk at heavyweight?
Yeah, I mean, I think he boxed very well. He is what he is, which is it was a master technician. He tried to grit it in and throw bombs and hurt Derek, and he did his thing. I do think obviously Uzyk's not really known for being a concussive puncher at cruiserweight, so you can't really expect him to do it at heavyweight. But what he can do is move for 12 rounds and box well. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like he'll still be a problem for a lot of heavyweights, but you know, I think the problem is, and he still has opportunities to prove all of us wrong. But the problem is, you know, Derek obviously is, you know, not a young guy, but was still able to, you know, rough him up in spurts and stuff. So it kind of makes you think, what would a young, strong heavyweight that just says 12 rounds, I don't mind losing 6, but I'm going to graft, work his body, and then get to him later, what would happen? But he's a tough guy, so it's to be seen.
And another fight I want to get your thoughts on, just a couple more. We do have another big heavyweight fight coming up in a couple of weeks. Daniel Deboer and Joyce, a big fight for British boxing. I was just wondering how you see that fight playing out, Lawrence.
Both of them, obviously, I was on the GB team of both of them, so I don't really want to give a prediction on that fight, and I spar both of them regularly. But then again, I could sit on the fence because that's how I feel. It's probably one of the most like close fights I can think of. You know, you've got the experience and it's vast. You know, you're not just looking at professional but amateur. You know, Joyce, Olympic bronze, Olympic silver, world medals. Like he's done a lot as an amateur, and even as a pro, he's had some really tough fights. So I think he's got experience and that over Dan. But Dan is a freak of nature. Like even from sparring him, he's actually very like he's very good technically, but then he's also like got massive power in his punches. So it's a hard one. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's gonna be like just two objects just going in. I can't see Joe Joyce jabbing and slipping and all that. So he's gonna have to go work with him. So it'll be interesting to see if Joe Joyce can, you know, land something hard or outwork Dan or not.
And finally, Lawrence, Deontay Wilder broke his silence and sort of broke the internet at the same time. We saw the video. He came out and made certain accusations towards certain people. I'm sure you saw the video. What did you make of what we sort of seen and heard from Deontay Wilder in the last week?
Like, I don't really want to kick him while he's down. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, like, you know, he's, you know, said stuff about people that I like. Do you know what I mean? Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, etc. And it's just interesting, you know, to see kind of where it's all going now. So I don't really want to talk too much on that, but I just feel like unless you have full evidence, it's not worth coming out and saying all that stuff. You know, we've seen it time and time again. Boxing fans, boxers, everyone in boxing doesn't care. You know, if you've been cheated the way that Cotto potentially was cheated by Margarito, we want to see you get your revenge. Do you get where I'm coming from? But in this scenario, there's no evidence, no nothing. It's just too many bits and bobs. So I don't really buy it, and I don't really like it. But I don't want to kick him while he's down because he's obviously still going through it.
All right, Lawrence, I'm appreciative of your time. I'll leave the final word to you. December 12th, WBO Cruiserweight title. What do we see from the source?
Just another win and just another step on the journey, you know, just, okay, we'll be sitting here, how is it supposed to be WBO champion? I can't wait to see how I really feel. Right now, I say to myself, no big deal. I'm just going to go pick up that world title, but we'll see how I feel. If I cry or if I just jump, I don't know. Anyway, I can't wait. I'm excited to get this victory and then get the ball rolling.
All right, Lawrence, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck the rest of the camp. Best of luck the fight as well.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.